Hello there, beautiful people. Welcome back to the channel. I want to talk to you guys about something a little disturbing today. And there's something happening in North America that I don't like. I find it really, really disturbing. And I'm really freaked out by this, to be especially honest. Anywho, I'm not going to go too much into my opinion because the topic and because of how YouTube just selectively applies its rules and terms of service. Anyways, so to start from the basics, several years ago, I want to say 3 years ago, or I want to say, yeah, 3 years ago. I'm okay with that. I might be a little off here. There was a kid in Canada, and by the time the mainstream media really discovered him, quote unquote discover him, he was 9 years old, and he was a child who was into drag. And obviously it created a controversy. There was a great many people who thought that, this could be sexualizing the child, and then there were some people who were like, you know what, drag is just musical theater, or at least some form of it. Let him do what he wants, let him express himself. And things got a little more heated when that kid Lactatia was on the cover of Playboy. I mean, he was dressed conservatively, well, loosely speaking, but he was still on the cover of Playboy. Anyways, so obviously a lot of people were mad and a lot of people were supportive, and you can sort of guess who the people were who were supportive, and you can sort of figure out who the people were who were mad. I wouldn't call myself, I wouldn't say I was mad, but I was mainly uncomfortable, made uncomfortable by this, and I had some questions about the child's safety, to say the least. Anyways, so within a year later, America discovers this other kid, also 8 or 9 at the time of being discovered. The kid goes by the stage name Desmond is Amazing. Now, I don't want to use those kids' real name. I haven't looked it up, and I don't like that a lot of news articles are publishing their real names. For some reason, I don't like that. I don't exactly know why I don't like that. I just know I don't like that. Anywho, so America found Desmond is Amazing, and he made an appearance on Good Morning America, and the same thing. Some people had a very strong negative reaction, myself included, and some people were supportive. Once again, you can figure out who was on which side. What made Desmond is Amazing a little different from Lactatia, or at least from my understanding, with Lactatia, the Canadian kid, his parents were like, okay, my kid wants to dress up, and I let him use my makeup, and he dresses up. This was when the kid was discovered by media. Eventually, the kid got really popular, and his parents let him be on the Playboy cover. Okay, that's something else. But at the time the kid was discovered, that's all the parents said. My kid likes dressing up, and I don't stop him. I mean, I don't know if that describes the parents' entire motivations, but that's what they went with. With Desmond is Amazing, it's even more sinister. This kid was saying that when he was 2 years old or 3 years old, he saw RuPaul's Drag Race with his parents or his mom. I mean, RuPaul's Drag Race. It's okay if you like that movie. If you like that, but it's not for kids. You don't show that to your kid, especially when there's 2 or 3 years old. Okay, I mean that's just all kinds of messed up. So Desmond is Amazing from the beginning. I think there were a lot of questions about his parents' motives and what they were doing, and it seemed fairly obvious that these parents, and obviously you guys can understand who these parents are, far left, progressive, virtue signaling, you know the type. So it became somewhat obvious that these folks were just using their children to, just get progressive brownie points. Now, before moving on to the next part of what I'm about to talk about, that the photographic evidence of the topic that we're going to discuss is available on the internet, and if you guys want to look for them in Twitter or in Instagram, you will most likely be able to find them. But I don't want to use them in my channel because my channel could get taken down, and also it's very depressing. So we're talking about Desmond is Amazing. Not too long ago, Desmond is Amazing performed drag in a gay bar. And bear in mind, this kid is like 9, 10 years old. He performed drag, and I say that phrase without having any idea what it means. I don't know anything about drag, not just as, this weird form of progressive parenting, but even as, the art form that a lot of people dig. I know nothing about it. So I don't know what performing drag actually means, but whatever it is, this kid was performing drag at a gay bar, and people were throwing money at him. By people, I mean gay people, gay men who went to that gay bar. They were throwing money at that kid. Now, if we look at this, and if we imagine a hypothetical where straight men, maybe 30, 40 years old, were throwing money in a straight bar or in a strip club, or let's just say a bar or a club, or a typical nightclub. You have straight men throwing money at a 10 or 11 or 12-year-old girl. I think most of us would find that to be somewhat depressing, right? We would find that to be disgusting. We would definitely know that there's a sexual component here. But apparently, with the whole Desmond is Amazing thing, that sexual component was lost on a lot of people. Apparently, there is no sexual component to it. I mean, if you ask the progressive people, the same people who find Baby It's Cold Outside to be promoting rape found nothing wrong with it. The same people who feel that there's a rape culture in the West, the same people who probably feel that if you look at a girl funny, she can sue you, found no sexual component whatsoever in middle-aged gay men or even young-aged gay men. I don't think the age exactly matters, throwing money at a 10-year-old boy dressed up as a girl. Now, if you think that's bad enough, and let's face it, that's pretty bad, I want to say 3-4 days ago, I might be missing up the timeline, but we're still talking about Desmond is Amazing, the American kid. I don't even know what happened to Lactatia, the Canadian kid. I hope he's doing okay. I don't know what's up with him lately, and it's kind of news that I try to avoid because it's very depressing. So Desmond is Amazing was recently photographed with a dude. I believe he may have been a gay dude, or he might have been straight. I'm not 100% sure. And the guy was naked. Now, it's not like someone discovered a picture of this guy naked with a 10-year-old kid. If someone had discovered it, that would have been bad as well. But what's worse is that this guy put this picture on his Instagram or something, and if you guys are looking for this picture in Instagram, I think you may have found it. He may have tweeted about it as well. I think he may have removed it from Twitter. Twitter has some policies regarding nudity, although it's not really nudity that's the important thing here. But anyways, so it might still be in Instagram, or it might be somewhere online. I'm pretty sure if you guys look for it, you'll find it. I'm not gonna, but... And once again, there is a segment of society who does not see the sexual component in this. I mean, at this point, you're just pretending, right? You have to be just pretending. And I thought we are in the United States, where we're in a first world country, right? So if we're seeing child abuse, and this is so far beyond child abuse, okay? No amount of progressive bullshit can hold up to this now. If we're seeing child abuse, we are to take the kid away from the parent, right? That's what I thought. But here in the United States, a first world country, there is a child who, by every metric in my uncivilized, unprogressive, bigoted mind, is being abused. But A, the government doesn't intervene, and B, you have a segment of society that is rewarding. Now, with the whole government intervention thing, I'm not a big fan of the government. The only reason why I want the government to even exist is to secure our borders and keep us safe. And if you're going to suck at those things, I don't know why we even bother with the government to begin with then. But anywho, it's just incredibly, incredibly depressing. And I'll tell you guys this. A lot of you guys know that I was born and raised in Southeast Asia. In Southeast Asia, particularly in Pakistan and Afghanistan, two very radical Muslim majority countries in Southeast Asia, there is a practice. And I will give you guys the TLDR version of this practice. You can read more about this online, although I should warn you, if you want to read more about this, do it at your own risk. This will make you feel really, really bad. In Southeast Asia, predominantly in Pakistan and Afghanistan, there is a practice called Bacha Bazi. Bacha Bazi, to the best of my understanding of South Asian language, is Urdu slang. Urdu is the language commonly spoken, predominantly spoken in Pakistan. Versions of Urdu or dialects or some variations of Urdu are spoken in other South Asian countries as well, but Urdu is predominantly a Pakistani language, and Bacha Bazi in Urdu means boy play. The TLDR version of the story is this. These grown men pick up poor young boys of the ages maybe 9, 10, 11, dress them up as girls, and make them dance in front of men who are of the ages anywhere between 30 to 50, 60. I'm not sure if there's an upper limit. A lot of the times, the men, they throw money at these boys, and if there's a boy that they particularly like, they buy him for sex. And I think these are orphans. They don't have a place to go. So after the age of 18 or 19, they graduate from this practice. They get out. They become free. But in the meantime, this is what happens to them. That's the TLDR version. Investigate at your own risk if you want to know the details. As someone from Southeast Asia, when I saw this Desmond story and when I saw this Lactatia story, I'm not implying those two things are the same. I'm not implying the same things are happening. I am not implying that anyone is using these two poor little boys as sex. I'm not implying that at all. That is just the first thing that popped into my mind just by the virtue of where I was born and raised. And that just bummed me out even more. Anyways, you guys, just wanted to talk about this. God, I hope we turn our act together. Talk to you guys soon.